Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Earlier, we were discussing the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott, and now we're going to be talking about LeBron James on Bronny's draft projection. But before we do that, I just wanted to remind you guys to like and follow the show. We get a number of questions that come in from viewers during the show, so to ensure that your question gets read on the air, I ask that you use the tips and donation link with your question. That link is streamelements.com/gsmcsportsnetwork./tip. This puts your question at the top of the list so I can see it, and it also just really helps the show. Tate was throwing me off earlier, so...
Did you do the tip and donation part at the beginning of the first segment?
Yeah, I did.
That just swept right past me. It's changing too, by the way, at some point.
Tate is over here showing me his breakfast / snack lunch. I don't know what it is while we're on break.
Yeah. Like I said, sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring, yeah.
See, here's the cool thing, though. One thing that I do love about Europe is pastries.
Mm-hmm.
And Europe, it's like when you think of pastries, you only think of desserts.
Mm-hmm.
But here, there is like just as many savory pastries as there is dessert. I'll share it with you. So here's a little bag, boys and girls. So
what we got in there? Unboxing on the GSMC.
This is a pastry.
Ooh.
And it's like phyllo dough. It's really awesome. But then, as I try to open this up like a clamshell here, inside is ham and cheese.
Oh.
So you think it's like I'm eating like a donut or something, but it's actually that. And they make a ton of these, and but it's weird things that you would not normally see. Like, oh, this one has fish in it, and it's like this one has shrimp in it. This one has ham. This one has chicken and beef, or all these different ones. So sometimes you got to be careful as the American, and you're like, because this happened to me. I'm like, oh yeah, that looks good. I'm thinking, what is it got, like strawberries or something like that? And you start biting it, and it's like bacala, like salted cod, and it's like, what the hell is this? You can't be biting into a pastry thinking you're getting like strawberries and jam, and you get like salted cod. It's like, oh hell no. That's the talk about ruining your day. You're gonna go in the wrong section because there's just as many savory pastries here as there are sweet. And then one time it was this one pastry thing, and I got it, and it looked like it had like mounds of cheese on it, and I was like, oh, this looks good. I'm ready to tear in this bad boy, and I'm thinking I'm about to bite into a bunch of cheese, and it was like super sweet, and I was like, what the heck is that? Like, you just got to adjust to the different foods. You got to be patient and understand the way things are around here. It's a different world.
It's a different world. Yeah,
you didn't think I was unboxing pastries on the show today, did you?
It's not like your, Egg McMuffin or anything like that.
Yeah, like also pizza. Some of the things that are on pizza here just blows my mind. Like corn on pizza is a very common thing.
I've had corn on pizza.
Actually, really good. Sweet corn on pizza is excellent.
Yeah.
Another thing, people lose their mind about pineapple on pizza.
I love pineapple on pizza.
That's why you're my girl. Mango on pizza is actually really good.
That's interesting. I might have to try that.
Sometimes they'll have like a pizza, and it'll be like a pineapple mango pizza, and that's good. Weird tuna on pizza, that's the one to get adjusted to. A lot better than you think it is.
Yeah.
Though.
Yeah.
It's like there's things on pizza around here that you've never thought about. You know, if you're starting a pizza place, you're like you're gonna be featuring your tuna on your tuna
Tuna salad.
pizza. Yeah, that is not gonna fly in America. You can't be you can't be down in Athens, Georgia, showing off the tuna pizza anytime soon.
Alrighty. Well, with that. So, LeBron James speaks on Bronny's draft projection, quoting, "Let the kid be a kid." LeBron James shared his thoughts on the chatter surrounding his son's Bronny's readiness for the NBA, writing on social media Monday, "Can y'all just let the kid be a kid and enjoy college basketball?" In since deleted posts on X, formerly known as Twitter, LeBron wrote in a response to a post citing a report that ESPN removed Bronny from its 2024 NBA mock draft and instead projected him to be selected in the 2025 draft. LeBron posted on X, "The work and results will ultimately do the talking no matter what he decides to do. If y'all don't know what he does, If y'all don't know, he doesn't care what a mock draft says. He just works. Earned, not given."
Okay, you did a short on this, so let me hear your take on this first, and then I'm going to give you mine.
Um, in my opinion, I feel like it's probably very hard for children of star athletes to,
Mega star athletes.
yeah,
LeBron's not a star athlete. There's there's
mega
star
star,
athletes,
excuse me.
and then
Yeah. I feel like it's
exactly.
very hard and there's a lot of pressure on them to measure up to their parent. And I think people are expecting Bronny to be exactly or even better than LeBron James. And I don't really feel like that's fair. You know, Bronny might not have the same dedication, or he might have the same dedication, just doesn't have the level of skills that his dad has right now, which obviously and rightfully so. His dad is what? He's in his 40s? He's 40 something, right?
He's 30 now. He'll be 40 soon.
40, okay. So,
Still
yeah.
one of 40, and he's still one of the best
Yeah, but
basketball
like
players in the world.
rightfully so, he's not as good as his dad is. His dad is 39, has been playing in the NBA for
20
20
years.
20
Yeah.
years,
21
and
years, yeah.
Bronny is just in college basketball right now. Like, I people need to chill out. That's that's how I feel
Okay.
about it. People need to chill out.
Faith, I agree with you 100%, but I blame one person. I blame LeBron.
Why do you blame
And
him?
you're like, whoa, you weren't expecting that, were you?
No.
You're like, what? Okay. Like I told you, went to school in Akron. I know people that used to work for LeBron.
Hmm.
Some may still work for LeBron. I'm a LeBron fan. I like him. I'm a Laker
Hmm.
fan. But he created this problem, unfortunately. When LeBron started talking about, that he wants to play long enough that he can play with his son. He wants to play with his son, like Barry,
Oh, he said that?
yes, like Ken Griffey Sr., uh, Bobby and Barry Bonds. There's a bunch of players that have done that. So he said he wanted to play with his son. Then at one point in time, he even tweeted about how his son is better than some of the players in the NBA one time. It's one of those things where you're proud of your son. You're incredibly proud of your son because your son has done some great things.
Hmm.
But you are LeBron James.
Right.
The media hangs on everything you say.
Hmm.
The media scrutiny against you is so big. So every time you say something about your son, it's it's bigger than, it's a huge statement. So he has made these statements about his son, and then all of a sudden, you know, he's not the big megastar like they were expecting. And justifiably so. His son had one of the biggest setbacks you can ever have. Like I know that USC, LeBron James, they have tons of money with the best doctors in the world, but we were this close to losing Bronny. Bronny at the beginning of this year
Oh
went
yeah.
into cardiac arrest and his heart stopped. Not everyone comes back from when they heart stop. And so he had to be monitored and checked and things like that. And there's a concern. So I don't think that LeBronny has had this opportunity to really develop this year like he should have, or like they were expecting him to do.
Which I mean, rightfully so.
Yeah,
That
you went into cardiac arrest. Your heart stopped.
yeah.
That kind of that's called a setback right there.
That's called nature telling you chill out, take a break.
Right. And then before that, you have, you're the son of maybe considered the greatest of all time. So you have this spotlight on you. Then he has this whole thing. And I remember when he had this thing, when he had his cardiac arrest incident. And I was like, man, that's so sad. He's never gonna be able to play in the NBA. I thought his career was over. If it was my son at that point, I'd be like, no, son, we got a not 100 million in the bank, or 200 million. We got $1 billion sitting over here. You don't need to play basketball anymore. That's the mindset I have.
He's
And
also he's only 19.
yeah,
He's 19 years old and people are like getting on him and expecting him to be in a NBA mock draft, and it's like
well,
he's 19 and he's in
because
college.
guess what? When his dad was 16, 17, he was already one of the best players in the world.
Womp
And
womp, he's not his
right,
dad.
exactly. That's exactly it. But the media, and see, and this is the part where LeBron is right. Hey, let the kid be a kid. Let him become a man on his own. And so what LeBron is saying is right. But you had a hand in this.
Yeah.
When you're talking about, you can keep that in and be like, you know what, son, man, I can't wait when we play together. But don't say that in public. I think you're better than half the players on my team, or you're better than a lot of the NBA players. Don't say that in public,
No.
because that puts a level of pressure on a kid that makes you press a little bit more. That may get into your head. It's kind of like when I was talking about the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones saying we're all in, or we're going to go, this is the year we're going to the Super Bowl, things like that. The psyche that comes with that as the media starts to run with stories, it puts extra undue pressure on a team, let alone
A person.
a kid
Yeah.
who's 17, 18, 19. Everyone's been waiting to see what Bronny's going to be like. And before Bronny had his cardiac arrest, they were projecting him to be a top draft pick, first round draft pick. And so with ESPN watching him play his development, which he did have the setback, they're projecting him to now say, stay an extra year. He's going to be a draft pick next year. It's not like ESPN came out and said, this dude's a bum. He's a scrub. No, they're just saying
Yeah.
they're now projecting him to go in the 2025 draft, not this year. Now, let's just say the goal for LeBron is to play with his son. this could be a gift, though. This could be a gift that they always wanted. And that is Bronny has, and the projections, let's say the ESPN projections are correct. He's not a first round draft pick. That would be awesome for LeBron if that's his true plan, because he could slide to the second round in which there's a situation where the Lakers could actually draft him. He could slide to a place where now the Lakers can go out and actually pick him up. You could still have him in a developmental situation where the Lakers are trying to develop him and bring him along, and still have him play with the father and son still play together, where he plays part-time in the G League and part-time in the NBA. This dream could actually happen. Or it could also be a situation where another team just says, you know what? He's not a first round pick, but let's say the Knicks. We want LeBron. And LeBron has openly said, this is why I say LeBron has kind of brought this on. He wants to play with his son, whether he's with the Lakers or not. He wants to go to whatever team his son goes to. So let's say the Knicks or Miami or someone goes out and drafts him, and now they're trying to sign LeBron. Because if you think about it, and you're like, hey, LeBron's still good for another 3 more years. He's still a top flight player. Golden State just tried to trade for LeBron. Let's say the Golden State goes out in there and they draft Bronny. And in the offseason, they're like, hey, LeBron, you're going to be a free agent. Why don't we put you and Bronny together and put you, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, and you all on the Warriors? This is kind of one of those scenarios. I see, even though Bronny may have slid out in the ESPN projections, I still think Bronny's going to be a first round pick, because of the fact that they're a matching pair of red bottom shoes. You can't get the left without the right. You draft Bronny, you get LeBron. And so I still think people are going to go out and draft Bronny and overdraft Bronny with the whole concept of, hey, this guy's going to be, if he's going to be a first round, let's look at what ESPN just said. He is no longer projected in the first round of the ESPN, when ESPN does the projection. They say he's projected to go in the 2025 draft as a first round pick. Well, Faith, if you're the Cleveland Cavaliers, the New York Knicks, Golden State, the Lakers, and you're like, listen, we can go and sign Bronny now. He's on a projection to be a first round pick in 2024, 2025 draft. So why not bring him in? Forget about school. We monitor his heart, make sure his heart's great. We work on his game. We bring him in and let him work with his dad and develop him, get him some experience, and we get LeBron. Why wouldn't you do it?
It's a given, done deal.
You see what I mean? So the ESPN's projections are irrelevant, because that's LeBron James's son. And LeBron has already said he wants to go where his son goes. Do you see how what LeBron is saying on Twitter or X, or however you want to say it, is a little hypocritical, because he created this?
Yeah.
But it could also be a blessing in disguise as well. There's all of this. Everything we're saying it can be all a possibility. But getting on ESPN because they've done this, well, they've been doing this. They've been projecting players for for years. That's what they do. So don't
that's their
get
job.
mad. Yes, don't get mad that now because your son got, you know, downgraded because you created that spotlight for him.
Mhm.
But that downgrade could actually be a positive thing. Because let me tell you this, let's say Bronny comes out and he's balling out and he's doing really well. And now he's a first, second, or third round pick. And he's going, you're taking him to the Brooklyn Nets or the Detroit Pistons. And LeBron's like, hey, I always wanted to play with my son, so I gotta go to Detroit. I gotta go play in Detroit. I gotta go play for the Brooklyn Nets. These are two, Bron wants to contend for championships, but hey, my son is over in Scrubsville, USA. And so, you know, this could be like I said, it could be a blessing in disguise.
Mhm.
It's
Scrub is
like
your word for the day. You always have a word
scrub.
for the day. Scrub is the word. Scrub is the word for today. For
Oh,
Tate.
so this episode is brought to you by the letter S
S.
for scrub. I almost slipped up and said C, and that would have been like that. Ooh, that would not have been, you know, hooked on phonics didn't work for me.
My only thing is like, I imagine working with your dad and you're on the same team with your dad. I don't know if I would.
No, see, Faith, you're thinking about this all wrong.
Am I?
You're thinking about this as Faith of GSMC. Hey, Dad, come work with me. No, we're talking NBA. You're on the Lakers. You're on private jets. You're going to these
I
events.
guess, yeah. You're living luxury. I guess
Dad's
you're right.
making 50, 60 million and 100 million a year. Son's making 20, 30, 40 million a year. That's sign me up to hang with pops. Me and dad, we're rolling in the bank. We're traveling on private jets together. You know what I mean? Limousines and everything. Oh no,
I
this isn't
really,
faith at GSMC.
I really got the short end of the stick when it comes to life. Like,
Literally the short end of the stick, faith.
no, yeah, literally.
Literally short faith. There, you're not making. I don't
You
think
know what it
there's.
is? You know what I always say? God thought that I would be too powerful if he would have made me like 5'10", so he had to he had to shoot me down a foot. So,
There, faith. There. It'll be okay. Listen, you could always go for that curling world championship. Those height don't matter in curling. You can do those little
curling,
room.
curling. No, thank you.
Listen, you could be the world curling
Shuffleboard.
championship. Come on. You
No.
got to get in. Listen, you got to get in where you fit in. You got to find those
Yes,
short girl
that's
sports.
why I
Curling.
cheered. No, that's why I cheered for 7 years, because that's a short girl sport. But
No. There's no endorsement deals for being a cheerleader. You can't turn pro as a cheerleader.
yes, you can. They have
Listen,
NFL cheerleaders.
do you know how? Okay, the
And do you know how much money they
whoa.
make?
Faith, I just want you to look up how much a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader get made.
They make a
Okay,
lot, more than what I make.
here's a little weird thing. I've dated a professional cheerleader in my life. They make $0.00. You don't get paid to be a Dallas Cowgirl. You get nothing for that.
What? $15 to $20 per hour, or
No, they don't
$500
even
per
get that.
match.
They don't even get that. You get nothing for that.
No, they say there's some articles that say they get $15 to $20 per hour, or $500
Okay.
per match. But I mean,
No,
it's still
they
more
don't
than
get
what I make.
They don't get anything. But, and you know what the weird thing about it is? From someone who's known a few, they'll even tell you you get it back on the back end because of who you will meet. Most of those cheerleaders, I hate saying this. This is what I'm going to just say. This is what I was told directly from
Mm-hmm.
a former cheerleader. They are pretty much told that where your come up comes from is later on in life who you end up marrying. You marry the multimillionaire.
Well,
That's
I feel like with like social media now, like you can get like
oh
brand deals
yes.
and stuff and make money from that. So
Yes.
there is that.
And think about this. This was some time ago, when I dated this person. But there is no job out there that someone would come to a man and be like, listen, we're not going to pay you, Mr. Tate, because you're going to make your money is when you get married to Becky later on in life. They
Oh,
would never
Becky.
do that.
No.
That's the most sexist thing ever, is
Yeah.
that. And
That's a
now.
that's a conversation for another day.
But for the record, if that job is out there, I'm married now, but if that job was out there and y'all can hook me up with Miss Becky, who's willing to, like I said, feed me grapes
Just
and
throw
take care
money
of
at
me,
you.
you know. Ooh, I got another story to tell you a later date.
Okay.
Oh no, this is one of those after hour
After
conversations
hour
that I'll tell you
conversations.
after the show here.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about Wendy's looking to test surge pricing at restaurants as early as next year.